Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you today a car that I'm selling on behalf of a pal of mine. It's a Mercedes S-Class from 2004. It's the well-favoured 320 CDI diesel engine. The car itself has had a lot of money spent on maintenance to keep the car completely reliable. The actual current owner is actually somebody who needs a reliable car, as they own a property over in France, and being able to drive there and back without any hiccups is very important. Some of the things that the previous owner has mentioned to me have been a recent EGR valve, a set of 6 injectors fitted at the Mercedes Specialist, and the car itself has been well maintained. Now I've got a fully stamped up book to 2019, and servicing has been carried out locally at a Mercedes Specialist. Now the previous owner says he has the invoices for these. Sadly, they're not present currently. Now the number plate actually should be a year 54. That's a private plate that has been retained and is now on another vehicle. So if you go looking up MOT history on that one, you're going to be out of luck. However, the service history, which I've checked myself, is impressive. It mentions no signs of corrosion or any nasties, just general wear and tear, and it appears to have fared well since it's been new. The model is high spec. It's a classic colour of Mercedes silver. It's got a set of matching Michelin tyres all round, which haven't done that many miles, so about £1,000 worth of tyres alone. The car itself has things like air conditioning, which works perfectly well. It has electrically controlled seats. It also has the comfort seats where you can pump up the lumbar support in the back, so for those with back problems, they're going to love it. Mercedes S-Class is obviously the flagship model for Mercedes. They were loads of money when they were new, and they are available for virtually no money second hand. This one having covered 187,000 miles. Having driven the car myself, it still is going strong, and every button I press seem to work, including an electric sunroof. I'm going to walk around the car slowly so you can actually see the condition of the paintwork, but if I just show you inside. So here we have some buttons which obviously operate the seats. It would appear we've got memory seats, we've got folding mirrors, we've got heated seats, a couple of different levels of heat, and here we can control all the windows front and rear, and looks like you can also open the boot. It has got, I believe Mercedes refer to it as their command module, which is a sat nav. However, I'm still sure you'd prefer to use your Google Maps, but back in the day that was a rather expensive option to have a car fully loaded. You'll notice the dual zone air conditioning. Automatic gearbox, silky smooth, and actually, despite all that mileage, look how nice the steering wheel still is. Plenty of life in that seat. The seats themselves, big and comfy, centre armrest, a nice pleasant grey inside. The interior is cleaned up rather nicely, I must say. And in the back, now we have got the seats right back at the moment, but I can assure you these have got huge rear legroom. You can see actually these rear seats look to have had very little use. These are all in excellent condition, and as you would expect, the usual electric windows in the back. You'd be surprised not to see that on one of these. It does say AMG edition. I'm a little bit cautious of these badges. It does seem a little bit of badge engineering, as we call it in the trade, may have gone on. A huge boot, as you would expect on a car like this. There's the carpet mats here, and if I look under here, there's actually, looks to be unused, but there is the full-size spare wheel, albeit a steel and not an alloy, so that's lovely to see. So if I go around panel by panel, and we'll start at the back, this boot lid looks to be in very good condition, as does the rear of this bumper, as does the rear wing. Excuse me. Excuse me, I didn't see that one coming. Must be all the pollen. Sorry, back to the video. Smallest of stone chips there. Could be touched in. We haven't. This is literally had a wash and been listed for sale. I'm sad to say I'm only in receipt of one key, but that one key does work, central locking, etc. The wheels appear to be in good condition. They're not as new, but considering age and mileage of the vehicle, I think they're very respectable. I think the front wing looks to be in good condition. You've got to watch out for these S classes because they can get a bit of corrosion in the front wings. The rear is in good order, as is this front bumper. The facelift had this flatter front and different headlamp, so it looks a very handsome car at the front. Again, I've got an AMG edition sticker on the front there. As to whether it's an AMD edition, I will leave that to your research. Front wing appears to be in good order too, as does the near side two doors. No sign of any corrosion. The car looks super straight. I can imagine it does clean up with a deep wax extremely well. I have got a little bit of a low level scratch here, nothing too epic. And here we are at the back of the car as well. I think that's really, that scratch just on the low level of the bumper is the only thing I can really point out. And I think if I'm right, it looks like there's a little bit of trim missing on that door. But other than that, this car does appear to be complete, and it does appear to have everything working. The car does drive ever so nicely, and I think that's probably what will swing it. The mileage won't impress you, but the fact that the car has been well looked after and clearly well serviced for it to still be in this condition and still drive so well. It is available in our location here in the North Hampshire countryside. We are in Overton. We can, within reason, because this is a large car, probably have to go on a truck. We usually can arrange full UK transportation. However, surely there can be nothing nicer than travelling down and driving this one away. These cars really are very cheap for what they are, and I'd imagine good examples like this, if you continue to keep it maintained, they really are capable of doing some grand mileage and supplying the owners with a lot of smiles, because they really do look $1 million, don't they? I mean, this is a very handsome executive car. So folks, high on the miles, 187,000 miles. It's a late 2004 Mercedes S-Class. It's known as the W220 if you want to go and do your research about the launch of this car, and you will find out in 2004 it will in fact be a facelift version. Specification is quite important. When these cars were newer, they could happily sink an extra £20,000 plus in extras. You really did have to pay through the nose to get a high spec S-Class when these cars were new. And I think that walk around that I've just given you hopefully does demonstrate the fact that the car is in good condition. To things like an electric sunroof and air conditioning, obviously are quite an extra. A handsome dashboard and a good quality built-in stereo, I've got to say, sounds lovely. The driver's seat, that's the one that's had the hard work. There is a bit of wear in that. We haven't made any attempt to stain this seat to make it look as good as the others, but this is the one that's done all the mileage. I'm going to pop back behind the wheel of the car just to give you one little scan round. Good quality cubby holes, everything's softened and dampened, you know. Even there's the big fat book here that's got the service book in it, and it shows servicing up to that 2019, done at Mercedes and Mercedes Specialists. Very bright and airy inside, a beautiful place to be. Some of the little touches that you get in these cars are fabulous. Little fold down mirrors for those in the back. I think even a passenger can feel like a superstar in one of these. Lovely seating. In fact, the seats in the rear don't look like to have had a lot of use. Just a lovely all-round car. Specification wise, I'd say this one is definitely a higher spec car. Things like the comfort seats, there's the lumbar support I was telling you about, that's all electronic, and the passenger is treated to some luxury as well. Well folks, This is a lovely mile-eating car, and considering how much car you get for the money, these do represent excellent value. And all I would say when you're looking at these S-classes, it all comes down to condition. I would certainly say for the age of this vehicle, the car has in fact been looked after very nicely. I haven't mentioned too much about it. My pal who owns this car, he's actually I guess a TV celebrity. He's on a very well-known antique show. I'm not going to talk about who that is, but a client confidentiality. But as you could imagine, having to have filming schedules, especially when working in France, you do need to have a reliable car, and that's why a lot of money was spent on this car to keep it up to scratch. And I think when it went into Mercedes with one injector issue, the decision was to replace all of them. I don't think there's been any corners cut with the maintenance of this vehicle. In fact, the price of maintenance and even these set of tyres probably aren't far off every year what the value of the car is, but the money was spent because the car was loved and it was well maintained. So it does look very nice, and at the price point I think it makes a great bargain cruiser, and it's in stock now. So folks, if you're interested, please contact me through the usual channels and I'll be delighted to help you arrange for you to come and pick up this lovely Mercedes. Well folks, thank you for watching today's video. It's Danny at Bradley James Classics signing out.